It's Notorious 170 Homicide. I want you to sign on your phone, take some popcorn, smoke a little Cypress Hills right now. Okay, you want the yeah. I'm gonna come after you and fork you to death. Órale, cabrones.
Thank you, Bobby Lambardi. You know how we do, baby. 940 Jamaica Avenue. Your two-time Triple Crown LIWF Heavyweight Champion of the world. Julius style. The King Train. Double Solo Smokes.
You are not built for this. EMS, Underkiati, Taquati, Nate B2 on the beat. Gonna get this work, man. What's pain? Fresh bread. What's fatigue? Wanna stop? Fuck that. Wanna quit? Hell no. You want some more? I want some more. You want some more? I want some more. You want some more?
I guess he got a view that we did. Oh, Headz not. Intern Lucas is the whipping boy.
Quit? Hell no. You want some more? I want some more. 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 I bench press, stress, I leg lift, hate, I curl pleasure and pain. I push up on my faith, I pull up on my faith. Exercising my demons, power walk to success, and sprint to my goals.
For UWL, you're gonna parody in this sport. Which means any given night, when we get in the ring, you can take a loss. But let me let you know right now, I'm sitting on top of the ladder, and I'm looking down at the competition. I tell you when you're there, I tell you when you're ready. Matter of fact, I tell you who you are. And I haven't told anybody yet who they are. I'm ready to be here for a long time. I'm gonna put my foot right in somebody's ass. Oh, yeah.
All right. First of all, I guess the first and most obvious question to ask would be, who are you?
Julius Smokes, the double son-in-law. You know what I mean? Representing the East and West Coast and the dirty South. Yeah. And I don't discriminate on my ass whippings. Come. Immediately. My mother, you know what I mean? Alpha Fadrell, God bless her heart, you know. I got a chance to meet her, but not actually know her, you know. She died when I was like 3 to 4 months old, when I was a little kid, and my grandmother took me in. And we basically went down south to my uncle's house and went out to Virginia, upstairs, downstairs, backyard, front yard. But taught us the facts of life. Wasn't bougie, bro. Like that kind of family at all, man. It was just real shit going on. Just the people that I met. In general, like my Uncle Elwood, he was basically, he used to live right across the street from Rickety Dragon Steamboat and Jay Youngblood. So I used to get a chance to see greatness in a prom, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, wow, it was like poetry in motion, baby. I just really couldn't believe it. I had to pinch myself. But at the same time, I was playing AAU basketball and playing football too, and was good at it. I started on every team I played on when I was down in Virginia, North Carolina. I ain't fucking played no games, bro. I ain't played no games at all, bro. We was traveling, just like we do in wrestling. Traveling. 1,500, 1,200 people to 1,000 watching us kids play basketball. You know what I mean? So getting in front of the rest of the crowd was like a second nature to me. It was just like, okay, it's wrestling, let's do it. Plus I like to watch it on TV all the time, anytime I get an opportunity to. And it kept me out of trouble. You know, especially moving to New York City, man, you know. Everything was going on in the Bronx at that time, yo. They was trying to turn everybody out. To be smoking that glass dick and everything else. Let's keep it 100 with you, man. That's what it was, bro. It's more than weed. More than everything going on in the hood, man. Childhood trafficking. Everything, bro. That kept me in the house, yo. That kept me away from the from the monsters, from the lions, tigers, and bears. Wrestling saved my life like that, bro. You know what I mean? Watching wrestling, watching the entrance music. I mean, hearing the entrance music with the wrestlers coming out. Another one bite the dust. Hey, boom, boom, boom. Hey, the Junkyard Dog. You know what I mean? Coming out. Ric Flair coming out. The Warriors coming out. The Queen. Wow, slick as a can of oil right there, baby. Gotta keep your eye on him. That's a mistake I made in that match right here. And you're gonna see this later on. I had to do my homework on it. We are not friends. And I found out the hard way. Especially when you go for somebody's title. His livelihood, you know what I mean? I can take a lick and keep on ticking, baby.
He's a tornado of entertainment. Smokes is someone who is as unpredictable as he is just captivating. Like, you can't, regardless of what position you put him in, you can't look at Julius Smokes and not be entertained. I don't give a shit who you are. Like, he's a consummate over-the-top entertainer. He's everything that is the project to the back of the crowd energy. The whole building knows he's there. From the people in the front row to the people handling the tickets in the back.
At the time, basically, it had to be Bad Boy Leroy Brown. I was watching Miller Like Wrestling at the time, you know what I'm saying? That's one of my favorites. Sweet Ebony Diamond. That's one of my favorites right there. You already know who that is. You know what I mean? Rocky Johnson, Tony Atlas, Iceman King Parsons, the War Warriors, Ron Simmons, Butch Reed, rest in peace. Butcher! Come! Oh, man. Yo, his interviews was raw. People need to catch Butch Reed, yo. YouTube that, yo. His interviews was wicked. That was North Kakalaki. You know what I mean? That wrestling. Literally. I used to watch that 12:30 in the morning, Channel 13 in Virginia. It was amazing. If I missed it that week, I had an attitude. Literally that whole week. So football practice, basketball practice, everything like that simmer me down. You know what I mean? And my grandmother didn't play either. Shut up! Like who take Kente with that whip. You know what I mean? And wow. I just love it. I love wrestling, man, to the day I die. That's what I do.
He's a very entertaining guy. Everything he does is pure entertainment. And the best part is, he knows his wrestling history. He grew up watching North Carolina NWA. He was down in Virginia watching everything possible, Mid-South, and studying all of it. And he brought more knowledge to us because he was explaining the stuff that we never saw. He was talking about Ted DiBiase and, Dick Murdoch and explaining what they were doing. And, when Ric Flair would come to town, how the excitement was. And you could see it. Like I said, watch his eyes and his mouth. His eyes would light up as he's talking about like Ric Flair coming to town. Or, he would talk about Bobo Brazil or Ernie Ladd and just get so excited. You could tell he loved professional wrestling. And he loved football. He loved other sports. But pro wrestling was his heart. And I think the only thing more than pro wrestling that he loved was actually music.
I lived on the same block as DJ Scott LaRock, and wow, he used to play with the kids and everything outside. He was nonchalant about him being in the music industry. You know what I'm saying? Because he was also a social worker with the homeless and everything like that. That's how he met KRS-One. And at the time, Scotty was his manager. And they used to play basketball at PS53. And one time they were playing $400 a man. I didn't play in that game, but that's what kind of ballers they had going on back then, yo. They're playing $500 a man, bro. Crazy. Who said it wasn't money in the hood, man? I seen it in my own 2 hours. I was a little kid, bro. DJ Scott LaRock, rest in peace, yo. That was dirty how they took him out, though. You know what I mean? But God bless his heart. We got to leave this earth one way or the other. I don't know how the way I'm going to leave it. It might be wicked, too. He was humble. I didn't even know he was into hip hop like that until I see him in The Bridge Is Over, The Bridge Is Over, The Bridge Is Over, The Bridge Is Over. Oh my God, I was crazy, BDP. I was like, whoa. And my sister Melissa Smokes, Zulu Queen, she's in the video too. You know what I mean? She's so cute. That's how I was hating on her. You know what I mean? She was a Zulu Queen all the way. She looked just like me. Melissa Smokes, baby, I love you. But she brought me into hip hop too with Zulu Nation. Going to the Zulu Nation anniversaries. Meeting Ice Cube in '91 when they kicked his ass out of L.A. When he came, 1990, when he came to New York. When he first left NWA. They had a show at the Omni, the Armory, over here in Harlem. Yeah, I'm black and I'm old. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Andre Harrell and them introduced me to everything, yo. The Fat Boys, you know what I mean? Rest in peace, Prince Marky D, Houdini, the Sugar Hill Gang. Those guys, bro. Them. You know what I mean? Literally, and Curtis Blow, the singing and hip hop that he brought in, yo. He did that for the Fat Boys. Listen to the Fat Boys' first album. You know what I mean? That was Curtis Blow, bro. Produced that album for them, man. That shit was wicked. That shit have you dancing and everything. Today that shit have you moving. Because I understood what hip hop was about. It was trying to bring people together, man. The youth at the time was talking. That's what it was. It was the youth.
I live in down the South Bronx, home to Tigers and Lions. I'm throwing up the X like my name was Des Bryant. My name is Julius Smokes, the double son-in-law. That mean I got a serpent strapped in my drawers. I'm the American dream, black dusty rose. No justice, no peace, here goes my blood flow. Why NYPD like to stare me down? They wanna beat me down cause I'm brown.
Talk about your record label, how that came together. It's like mission statement, maybe like a big standout moment for that so far. You definitely talk about that.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this real shit right here. It basically came upon me where I just noticed that I just wanted to own my own catalogs, my own masters in general. Just listening to Prince. I was going to the studio way back in the 12th grade, 11th grade anyway, with my cousin Undu Barnett. You know what I'm saying? Which he has an album out right now under Buddah Headz Records. I just called my boy House up. He was from the LIWF at the time. He was my manager. Rest in peace, Mary, Isom. You know what I mean? And we just formed a bond. He was a businessman, had his own tax spot set up and everything like that. So I knew who to go to if I wanted to start my own business. So I just went to him back in 2015. Was like, hey yo, I want to start my own record label. I got my own music. I got my own producers. I do my own music. Let's make this happen. And we put everything in fruition. And the rest is history, baby. I am CEO of Buddah Headz Records, registered to New York State, baby. So I'm just following the blueprints. Puff Daddy and James Brown and everybody else, baby. Facts.
What's a big highlight for Buddah Headz Records so far?
Get my own distribution deal with this company, Symphonic Distribution, over in Los Angeles with DJ Green Guy and DJ King Assassin. He used to also do music with Tupac Shakur. He did Dear Mama, you know what I mean, and all that. So he got his own distribution company. I was sending music to his radio station. He heard me. We had a conversation from there, and he wanted to know, do my company have a distribution deal? I'm like, nah. He offered me one, and I put my cousin Undu out and myself, and we own our masters, and the rest is history, baby. Computer blue, computer blue, computer blue. Scare money makes some money. You know what I mean? So I ain't giving all the secrets up basically towards that. We got basically a great deal with the Ring of Honor. But at the same time, with streaming and downloading, it has nothing to do with them at all. It's just the fact whoever's a musician has their music on the DVDs and stuff like that, I guess I'll get money from it. If you register the copyright like I am, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm the real deal, so I get my royalties. It has nothing to do with their company at all. It's just the fact my music's on there, you know what I mean? And it's a blessing in disguise. Thank you, Gabe, for that opportunity. Because he approached me with that opportunity, Gabe. You know what I'm saying? If Smokes, I know you got music out. Let's make this happen. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, and I was able to do that with them. And God bless Kerry, too, you know what I mean? Giving me opportunity, keeping the company going after the first fiasco, you know, with Rob Feinstein and all that. And, you know, God bless everybody on that situation. And you see where the company's at right now, bro.
I was like 15, 16 when I met Smokes, when he was just still J-Train, and it was like, this guy's wild. You know, I mean, like, there was a story going around at the JAP school that Smokes would sneak up on students with a chair, just swing the thing at them, and then when they moved, he would just look at them and be like, always gotta be ready. You know, and then like as I got to know him as a human being, just the most genuine person that you're going to encounter in this business. Like, for someone who's such a larger than life character, Smokes is he's just a real sweet dude, always looked out for me, be it, you know, the only white kid going to his apartment at 105th and like walking down the street. Funny story. Okay. I'm like 17. We're at Smokes' apartment. We're all hanging out and partying. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. They send me to the store for blunt wraps. So I'm walking down the street, and then I get walked up on, and I get the, you know, who are you? You know, who you here with? Blah blah blah. And then you just hear out of the fucking window of his like 9th story apartment, Smoke start yelling, yo, he's with me, he's cool. And then the kid was like, go on, all right. Like, that's Smokes in a nutshell. He was always like, if he took to you, he took to you, and that was it. There was no turning back from that.
Judging by the name, judging by what you got around your neck, judging by everything, you were clearly...
Buddah Headz Records, baby. Buddah Headz Records.
Clearly a man who enjoys a good smoke, so tell me about...
Fuck those opioids. No opioids. Strictly ganja. You know what I'm saying? Literally. That's what it is right now. It eases the pain. You know what I mean? No pain, no gain. Literally. And actually, it builds up your sexual appetite too. You make love all night long. Come, and I say immediately. Buddah Headz Records. Buddah Headz Records. Yeah.
What was your first time with weed?
I was an adult, a grown man. I always got teased when I was younger because I didn't smoke or drink until I was like, 22, 23 years old when I was working security. You know what I mean? With one of my homies and whatnot, yo. And the rest is history. That's how they pass time by. At night, working security. I was working from 12 to 8. You know, and as I said, I was a grown man when I made that decision to put that in my body. And that was the best decision I ever made, considering what else is on the menu that I wasn't attracted to at all. Only the ganja. Bumba clot now, huh? Come. Well, it actually smooths a savage beast. Literally. That's what it does for me. Puts everything in perspective. What's my last name? I used to get teased about my last name when I was younger. Literally, I was. You know, now that I'm older, everybody want to smoke. You got that smoke, I have to copyright my name because I am Julius Smokes. Thank you, Dad. Great name, man. Wow, great name, fam. Seriously, I love being the Smokes, man, till the day I fucking die. Literally. I love it.
When it comes to Julius Smokes, I often refer to him as J-Train. That was his very first wrestling name that I knew him as. The Julius Smokes character didn't appear until he started getting heavier into rap. And it fit him. It was like, man, Julius, that's pretty awesome. You know, there's not too many Juliuses that you know, But then Julius Smokes, and it fits so perfect with him, you know? But I remember meeting him at Arena Puerto Rico. And again, like I said, we all came from humble beginnings. Nobody came from, you know, a rich history or anything like that. And, you know, he didn't look like a bum. He presented himself well. But you could tell he was one of us, you know, he was one of the street guys, you know, he dressed a little bit better. But, you know, the first thing you notice is his eyes. His eyes and his mouth are always in motion, and they're always telling the story. No matter what story J-Train's trying to tell you, Julius is trying to tell you. When Julius Smokes tells you a story, watch his eyes and watch his mouth, because those are like how I'm using my hands to talk. That's Julius's hands. That's his expression. That's his way of emoting the story into, you know, for you to feel what he's telling you. And he's always been that way.
Hell yeah, Vulture Squad, baby. Ghostshadow, J Smokes. We got that antidote. You know what we do, baby. You know what I'm saying? Yo, we smashed those 2 broomsticks tonight. Those guys are so skinny, they could do push-ups underneath my door. There's nowhere in hell you can go against a beast like this, baby. We fly, we die. Hey, my brother from another mother, giving me opportunity. Homicide, to ride or die with the devil. You know what I mean? And that was it. It was opportunity to pull myself up on my own bootstraps. Thank you, Martin Luther King. You know what I mean, my boy? And that's exactly what I did.
Well, my name is Notorious 187 Homicide. I've been wrestling for 47 years. Since 1994. The boys in the back call me D. It's like one of those personal nicknames that I have for many years. And yeah, I'm still wrestling. Wrestling is my passion, it's my blood, and I'm still here.
Tell me a little bit about the Rottweilers.
Wow. That started at the Doghouse. 940 Jamaica Avenue. That was Homicide and I creation, literally from the rooter to the tutor. You know what I mean? And we just kept that going. When he was a single wrestling, and Gabe came to me, gave me a proposition, ultimatum to be in this corner, to bring an honor. And from there, we just said, hey, we're gonna be the Rottweilers. And Low Key came along from there. Slugger. And One Love, Danger Rodriguez, and his mother, rest in peace in heaven right now, yo.
We all started wrestling around 97, 96. We got together, you know, later on that year in 97. And, you know, me and Loki and Louie and Mace Mendoza and Buffy, the SAT, we were all in a place called Arena Puerto Rico in Brooklyn. And that's where we met Homicide and Lathon. And, you know, the two of them were like them and Jay Lover and Shaolin were like the professionals, I guess you could say, but they only had like 3 years more than us as far as experience. But, you know, they saw us and we were doing like this thing called Insane World Wrestling. And it was basically backyard wrestling inside of a building in a real ring. And it was ran by Lowlife Louie. He had it on Brooklyn Public TV, Access TV. And we would go there and we'd all kill ourselves. And, you know, in about maybe, so we started that in February, and about September is the first time, maybe a little bit earlier, is the first time we met Homicide. From there, we all came from very humble beginnings. None of us had money. None of us were rich or anything like that. Had parents that, you know, we all had parents that worked. Some of us were coming from divorced families. Some of us, you know, parents together, but it's still very low class. And we all had that hunger for wrestling. And it was probably about, within that first month, we started training with Homicide. And he had mentioned to us actually about J-Train. The stories of J-Train were already running wild, as crazy as it sounds. And we were just like, there's no way this guy could exist. We all gelled as a clique. And because of that, that's when we met Bobby Lombardi. Bobby Lombardi was in charge of Long Island Wrestling Federation, and he wanted to always run a wrestling school. He always felt like wrestling was a way to keep kids who, you know, had potential to like fall into a life of crime. It kept them off the street. It kept them on the straight and narrow, kept them focused to stay positive. And that's when he opened up the first Doghouse in 98. I want to say it was 98, 99. I think it was 99, honestly, because the core group of guys that I mentioned, we were always together no matter what, whether it's someone's birthday or celebrating whatever, anything. We were always together. And when the school started, we were always together. It's because we were so pissed at all those guys who should have really opened the doors to new guys or whatever. They were coming in and doing everything in the politics game to keep us down. We mixed everything, lucha, strong style, American, everything that you can mix, every style. We all watched it all, we absorbed it, and we put it out there. And that's where J-Train comes in, and he changes the style up. You know, J-Train, as you know, he's very comedic, very entertaining. And we started to put that entertainment element because of J-Train. He had a very big influence on a lot of people because sometimes, you know, it's hard because you take him a little serious. But when you really know who J-Train is, you know that he's an entertainer. He's hilarious as hell. And we got that entertainment side from J-Train.
Monsta Mack, Dama. Wow. That's like peanut butter and jelly right there, yeah? That's the Cucho Fritos. New Jersey, Brooklyn, all mixed in one. That's Lil Keith's cousin. Monsta Mack. Lil Keith's cousin right there. Dama. Cool individual. I mean, basically, everybody go through their trials and tribulations. That's what, you know, without adversity, you never know what anybody's made out of, and friendship-wise. But that dude, on a personal level with me, he gave me the shirt off. He would give you the shirt off his back. You know what I'm saying? Both of them, when it comes down to me, you know, that's the type of feeling it was, and Bob and whatnot. And a lot of respect from Jersey All-Pro, Frank and them. That's where they got their meat and potatoes at. That's where they got, you know.
And one day in Charity Hall, I wasn't there, but Homicide was there with Fat Frank, and the door opened and Mafia walked in, Danny Lopez. And right away, Frank looked at him and said, I'm teaming him with Steve. And I looked at him, and we looked very similar. It's very hard to tell the difference when you look at old VHS tapes between me and Moff. He didn't have that many, I don't think he had any tattoos now that I think about it. And the only difference was his belly stuck out a little bit bigger. But, you know, once I started to get a little bit bigger, then it was really hard to tell us apart, you know. From there, the Hit Squad it really was me and Moff representing. But over the years, there have been guys like Deranged, Ghostshadow, J-Train, Jay Lover, Homicide, Key, myself, Moff, Eddie Kingston. There's a bunch of guys. And now that group is labeled as DHS fam, the Hit Squad fam. We were the guys that like set the standard. I mean, Ring of Honor, whether people want to say it or not, we're the first match. The very first thing that you see in Ring of Honor, Christopher Street Connection and the Hit Squad. And the reason being is we were wrestling with them everywhere, and everyone knew the kinds of matches that we could have. So we're like the catalyst, which is kind of ironic that I use that word, for Ring of Honor's development. And you know, from that point on, it became bigger and bigger to the point where people would wrestle us, and after the match they'd be like, you know, we were out there first and your music hit. We looked at each other, we didn't know if it was going to be a shoot or not. We were scared. And like that became the rep for the Hit Squad. Like, is it going to be real? Is it going to be fake? What's going to happen? We showed everybody that we were pros.
That's why these pussies in the National Football League, we don't wear helmets. We don't wear helmets. Look at this. We don't wear helmets. Pretty boy Tom Brady with that long hair. That quarterback from Clemson. Look at that. Hold on. I'm gonna eat that again. Let me eat that. Let me taste that still. Oh, it shook all the way down to my toes. That Jimmy Valiant came out of me. That Jimmy Valiant Boogie Woogie Man came out of me.
I met Julius Smokes 1995 at a wrestling school called Arena Puerto Rico. And I always remember him. A very, very passionate charisma. The first time I met him, it was one of those, who is this guy? You know, I remember him. He had braids. I used to call him Ali Iverson of pro wrestling. We just kind of clicked very well. We just knew the same thing. He always loved the old school wrestling, the NWA, the Mid-South. And at that time in New York City, we all looked at WWF. So when I seen NWA, Mid-Atlantic, Florida, I thought I was the only one that knew about this till I met Julius Smokes. And I was like, wow, it was somebody that actually seen this. I thought I was the only one. And for some reason, we just clicked very well.
Everything came through Homicide. Homicide's my agent right now. He's my agent, you know what I mean? So he prophesied himself, you know who he is, and stepped to that position of being an agent, because that guy's brilliant, bro. He knows this game, man. And he's hungry! At this stage of life, he's supposed to be packing it in. He having babies and all that still. Checking for the fountain of youth. Come on, bro. Popping them. He's still popping them, you know what I mean?
It's hard to explain. I just love everything about it. You know, I'm not a quitter. I got nothing to prove. I don't. But I do want to be part of that. Not rush my road, whatever it's called. Like, I don't want to be part of that. I just want people of like 30 years and 40 years that two kids are talking about, hey, do you know some guy named Homicide? Yeah, man, that guy was a bad mofo. Like, one of my new goals right now is I got a baby daughter, 1 year old, and one day when she turns 13 years old, my friends are watching me wrestle TV because I cannot shoulder anything about myself in the future of wrestling, especially wrestling. So, of course, my friends are watching wrestling. It's me, and this is like about 10 years before, and my daughter's like, wait, that's my dad. What he's doing it on TV? Oh, your dad was a bad mofo back in the days. My dad's corny. No, he's not. Because I'm very soft, you know, when it comes to like my kids. But as your question, it's a great question. It's very hard. It's just like I got a great heart, man. I want to go, you know, to the end. When my body tells me, okay, enough is enough, yeah, enough. I like to build up the future right now. That's what my goal is at right now, is build the future, because if there's no future, there's no Homicide. You know, so, and I'm trying my best. Excuse me, trying is not a good word. I know comfort level that not only I want the best, but the guys that bring in with me, they're the best too, especially Julius Smokes.
And God bless him and his wife and a brand new baby in the whole 2 yards, yo. But loyalty got me a lot of places, yo. When I was on the bench watching everybody else eat, I didn't say anything. That's what being a team player is about. People don't know what it is because they never played on the AAU basketball teams before and won championships like I did. They know what a team player really is. It's keeping your fuck mouth shut when you're on the bench, but the team is winning. And when they call your number, you come off the bench like a well-oiled machine and come in and win the championship with the rest of the boys. Because as long as you're on that roster, you're going to win. Regardless if you're playing or not, you have to be a team player. And that's who I was for a couple of years, for years. You know what I mean? What smokes? Hey, I'm being a team player right now. I'm nurturing my craft, burning my fires in different directions and whatnot, you know what I mean? But don't worry about what I'm doing. Salute to LEX and everybody else, yo. And, you know, the opportunity's coming around to me again. Catalyst Wrestling. Thank you, Lee, Samuel. Lee, Spudhead.
Catalyst Wrestling is a 30-minute professional wrestling TV show that has some of the best up-and-coming young talent mixed in with some, I don't know if you'd call them independent legends or, you know, just tenured professionals in what we do. And we have a combination of some of the best storytelling performers in the business with some of the best, I don't know, I guess you'd call it fireworks shows. Just explosion, 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 explosion. And that's really what we do. Like, we're pro wrestling for the short attention span generation.
Are officially in the hands of Hot Boys International.
What the hell? Is that
Julius Smokes?
Oh, Maven Bentley, look at this despicable taking the matches over, for God's sakes. Poor Bobby Orlando.
And Julius Smokes.
This is ridiculous. He's not even a competitor.
That was something that was discussed by myself, Deranged, and Homicide. Smokes' name was coming up a lot. And it came down to, I didn't want to do the same thing with him. Like, I'm not in the business of rehashing Ring of Honor storylines from 15 years ago. So it's like, what different could we do with Smokes and still utilize that presence he has? And then you got two guys like the Rep and Maven, who Maven is the polar opposite of Smokes. And Nate and Dave are kind of in the middle. So it's like, this is as a fleshed out concept of who the Rep could really be. And having that, like, guttural mouthpiece to him it made them from just another tag team who was very good at what they did into something different, into something where you're captivated from the minute they walk out to the minute they come back, and the minute someone starts cutting a promo with them, especially having Maven and Smokes. It was like you were getting, to me, it was like you were getting Chuck D and ODB. You were getting the outlandish, and you were getting the kind of more cerebral, straightforward with Maven. And it just was one of those things that Smokes worked so well with the Rep that I don't understand, to be honest with you, why more people don't book them together, because he's so good at being a hype man, a manager. His wrestling is something that's not what is out there for the most part nowadays. You know, like, he has that old school flair, but it's still exciting to watch. It's not like watching someone holding a chin lock for 15 minutes, you know? So that was kind of the original idea, was just as the antithesis to Maven, and kind of like being that devil on the shoulder, angel on the shoulder mentality. And now it's just become like the Rep with Julius Smokes is one of the more compelling things that we have.
Zach Amingo? You evil bastard! I don't think so! You broke your intern, he got burned, and he's not from Mississippi! You get it? You dig? Hell yeah! We want to go to the Empire State Building or the top of the projects and drop you off! That's exactly what I was going to do to you! And we still the World Tag Team Champions! Black don't crack, and you better pop that smoke. Brooklyn, get it.
The whole idea of having a situation where Smokes and Zach Amico could interact was something that I was just itching for. And it's so awesome because, like, Zach's a professional talker. Like, literally, like, he makes his money doing comedy and talking. And then you have Smokes, who's just it's like being hit just with a hammer of charisma. So that you can't not have gold when you have the two of them in the same situation. And it's awesome. Like, one of the coolest things is watching Zach and Smokes, like, the mutual respect and admiration they have for one another is so cool to me. It's like one of the coolest things.
He's got to get it back inside as the referee gets the three. Oh, Julius Smokes not having it. And Luke is putting Zach Amico in harm's way. Oh, spitting right in the eyes.
That's the first shower Zach has had in months.
And Lucas, plays, to his credit, plays his part very well. And also, Smokes hits hard, man.
Either way, and Lucas in a little bit of trouble here. That's
and given the receipt there, CBS style.
You know you're in there if you're in there with Julius Smokes, and Lucas needed that. I love Lucas. Lucas is like my illegitimate kid, but he needed that. So the whole, like, this is something that's going to be fun, funny, just entertaining from start to finish, and it's going to add something to the participants in there. Why wouldn't you? You know?
And here comes Smokes. He's legal. All of this is legal with a backstabber.
And I think also, like, his work with the Carter Group was some amazing, amazing stuff. Like the six mans, the promo work, you know, every time Jay had to be involved with Darius and with O'Shea and with Ron, we got great content and great material. And it's something that, you know, J-Train was someone I had confidence in before we started working together on this. You know, we've known each other a long time. We go way back. But he's someone that my confidence in builds every time he shows up to the building. I have more confidence than I did the month before, the show before, in his abilities and how well he's going to do. Like, there's never a drop ball. He's one of the few guys, like, he's one take across the board. But that's like not really something you come across all that much. Like somebody who's just so consummate in what they do that red light starts going, you're getting a finished product the first time around. I'm excited to see what else we can do with him and what other situations he's going to be in and people he's going to get to work with. You know, I think that this is someone who we haven't even seen how far they can go yet. And that's crazy because he's been doing this for 25 years. So for me to say, like, tip of the iceberg, I think that speaks incredibly highly to his talent.
There you see him.
The most decorated tag team in the history of Catalyst Wrestling.
That's right. Dave McCall, Nate Wallace.
With Julius Smokes leading the way.
The Devil's favorite son-in-law.
Julius Smokes is one of the smartest men in the rest of the business. He always tells me, like, I'm a team player. He's absolutely right. You know, he's a great team player. That's somebody that you need to be in the team, and that's Julius. He always stuck in my head that he never forget where he came from. I'm always there, and especially right now, he's doing a lot of big things in professional wrestling, and he deserves it. He deserves it to be a big part of pro wrestling, because that's what he loves. He's going to get it.
Julius Smokes is one of the most caring individuals that I know. If you were down and out, he would literally give you the shirt off of his back if he had to. There have been many times where, you know, he's offered me stuff, and I'm just not the type to just say yeah or take advantage. You know, I really never have been that way, but he's offered a lot of things, and I've done the same with him at times, you know, and he's turned it down, but he will offer you his last dollar if he knows that you're hungry and you need to eat. He doesn't care. He'll starve so that you eat. And he's always been a brother that way. It's one of those things where he seems unapproachable if you don't know him. But once you do know him and he knows you, let me just say that one more time. It's one of those things where you are afraid to approach Julius, but once he knows you and you know him, you're never going to want to be away from Julius because he's so observant. He's so funny. He's so smart. He's one of those guys that always knows what's going on in the world, and he could read people. He's very good at reading people, which makes sense being a professional wrestler. Your job is to know how to read the crowd that you're in front of. So Julius is really good at picking up on things, and he can explain to you what you're going through in his way, and you'll understand 100%. And you'll be like, wow, I didn't even explain any of that to him. How did he know? And he's done that a lot. He's picked up on a lot of things with a lot of people. And he's very smart. Like I said, he's one of those wise men, you know what I mean, that you don't expect or you're afraid to talk to because you're like, man, is he going to shank me or say what's up, you know? But then you see he's one of the coolest dudes ever. And, you know, I mean, I'm sure people have seen it in the locker room where, you know, Julius hang out with Homicide. That's the big boy group. And then he'll go over to the guys who have less experience. And what's going on, young blood? And he'll talk to them and be like, all right, what's your plan of attack? And he'll explain things to them. You know, you have to understand what's going on, what your environment you're in. And like, there needs to be more mentors like that, you know? He's talked to me a few times, tried to calm me down when, you know, I've gotten hot at promoters or other wrestlers. And he's definitely helped me at times get through, you know, my emotions because I'm an emotional guy. I don't show it as much. I like to laugh. I like to be happy. I like to be relaxed. But when it finally does break, it's very hard for me to just stop. And Julius has been able to calm me down a few times. So as far as the future for Julius Smokes, I believe his national TV exposure that he's getting is definitely going to show the world what Ring of Honor saw a few years ago. He's someone that can entertain on every level. He does it. You don't need to understand English to understand Julius Smokes. Like I said, you watch his hands, you watch his eyes, you watch his mouth. They express all the story that you need to know of what's going on. Every time Homicide, when he was managing Homicide, was getting covered by his opponent, Julius, as when Homicide would kick out, his eyes would open so huge, like, and like everybody saw that and felt that. Like, man, if Julius is expressing concern for Homicide, then Homicide's way worse than we think that, you know, we knew that he was in this match. And he was always the guy to have that, you know, when Homicide was doing something and his face was covered, just look to Julius, because Julius was going to tell you what's the story going on in the ring. And I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of veterans that when they do get their exposure to J-Train, they're going to be like, man, he would have fit in right in with us in NWA, or he would have fit in ECW or Mid-South just with us, you know?
And, well, speaking of the devil, man, rest in peace, my homie. Wow, Trent Acid, baby. That's what I'm saying. So people's crying out and need help, bro. And wrestling was therapeutic for a lot of people, bro. Literally. When you capture the best years of life, you know what I mean? Nobody lives forever, man. I've been trying to figure that out from day one, trying to say this. Shit, I had a fucking afro like a Jackson 5, man. Yo, people used to thought I was Greg Nice from Nice and Smooth. I was signing autographs one time like that, bro. I was working at Popeye's Chicken, 161st Street, right across the street from the old Yankee Stadium. People used to come in there. That's Greg Nice. No, I'm not. You gonna sign my autograph? I said, oh my God, here we go. Okay, I'm Greg Nice. But, nice and smooth and funky, always hip-hop hunkies. All I wanna do is... Yeah, Vulture Squad. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it, baby. You'll come to me. And we say the Rottweilers. Ride and die, baby. Live and die. Why not, baby? Seriously. Come and I say get it. Hey, yo, we ain't taking no shit from nobody. We ain't driving Miss Daisy no more. We just smash that wig off that hole. You know what I'm saying? Come and I say immediately, all competition. Huh? They say the light, they say the candle burns its brightest on the way out. That's what Ole Anderson told me a long time ago. What you think was happening right now? I'm that Hennessy. You know what I mean? I'm that cognac that the females like to drink. I got that King Modingo. I am a Modingo warrior. I wear size 13. You know what I mean?